I don't need any trolling right now. I need to focus on what I'm doing. So there's a YouTube channel that makes videos on self-defense and fighting with knives and stuff, and there's a lot of ridiculous things that he does that are less effective than what I've been teaching, and I might target him with more targeted videos, meaning he's one of these people that is part of what's wrong with the martial arts community, all the knife community. He's teaching things that are ridiculous and things that are not the best way to do things, and as a scammer, the guy is teaching things as if he's the best, like the expert on knife fighting and how to use a knife to fight with it. But somebody actually knows a thing or two, me, can see that what he's doing, a lot of it is less effective and that there's better ways to go about things. And I might make videos where I remix his content and I respond to it more. I would play his videos, get a clip from him talk about how to fight with a knife, and then make a YouTube short and go, well, here's what he's saying, here's why it's dumb, and here's a better way to do it type of stuff. Nice point in this video, I'm not naming the person, we'll see what we get up to up ahead. But I will be addressing one of the things that he was doing on his YouTube channel, and he was talk about grip changes and showing grip changes and talk about mastering that grip changes. And clearly to me, the way that he's teaching it is not the best way to do it. The way that he's teaching to do grip changes, when it's like how to master grip changes, it's not the best way. And this person, people could have been better served by looking at my videos, learning knife fighting, drills, philosophy, training for free. So as usual, being like a scammy person, got gimmicky knives that he sells, and you had to pay money to join him. You had to watch ads on his videos if you're going to watch his videos. So basically, I'll be more valuable to people in this area, meaning me being able to watch all these years, subscribe to my channel, and you could have got a free coaching, how to fight with a knife, how to improve your fighting ability, wholesale, like the whole spectrum, everything from fighting fitness, how to get in better shape, to techniques and philosophy. But with this person, you get less valuable, lower level teaching, and you have to watch ads on his videos. People watch this live stream, you don't have to watch an ad. I don't have a gimmicky product to sell, and you don't have to join some subscription fee to watch my videos. So it's like better, higher quality coaching for people looking to get better at knife fighting for free than other people charge you for. So we're going to address the one or many flaws in this person's YouTube channel. And like I said, I decided to not name the person. So in this video, I'm not going to name the person. We might get into doing commentary and show his channel and show his videos, and then pause and do commentary, all that type of stuff. But in this video, I'll be teaching a better way to do grip changes drills. So that's one of the things I found on his channel, him talk about how to do grip changes, and there's a better way to do it. Okay, and I've been teaching that before. And here we have my plate carrier, which is ready to go. So this is a intrusion response kit, you could say. So here's my plate carrier. So this is something I could throw on at a moment's notice. I mean, even in the middle of this video, if somebody comes breaking into my house, I could just throw this on less than 30 seconds, and I have a knife right there, a bigger knife. So this knife that I have here is a small dagger knife that is easy for me to carry on my person, which means this is a knife that I can have if I'm wearing sweatpants and whatever. There's a way for me to carry that easily, no matter what I'm wearing, pretty much. And I guess boxer briefs, that's all I had. Still, I could slide it under the stretch band, okay, and have it there. Now it's not going to be as secure, so if you start running around, bouncing around the roll and stuff, it's going to come out. But this is a little micro, a small mini dagger, which I like. And once again, when I talk about recommending things, I have some credibility because I'm not paid by anybody. So if I go, here's what I think, if you're a guy in America or in Sweden and you're looking to get a good fighting knife, I'm gonna recommend something, and I'm not paid. See, I don't have Mike's fighting knife, like my own knife that I recommend, and kind of in a scammy way where it's like, this is the best knife on the market for knife fighting, and that's why I'm going to recommend it, because I make money for recommending it. Meaning, if I show what knives I use or talk about what I think is a good knife, I don't make any money, understand? So that's going to be like an honest opinion. It's like Cold Steel don't send me knives, free knives for my videos. I bought them for my own money out of pocket, and that's the type of knife that I buy because that's a knife that I like, say. So anyway, here's the point. We're gonna use this Cold Steel Recon Tanto to show you the grip changes, and the guy in the video that got in reaction to that, I'm making this video, because he's got this like scammy thing was like the best, and I don't like that. Meaning, somebody who's not the best and the training things are not the most effective way to go about things. And if they had a humble approach, it's like, here's the way that I'm doing right now, but it's like, master the grip change. Here's the best way to grip changes. But I know that it's not. So what he was doing was using two hands, having a knife, and then he was using two hands in different ways to change the grip. And what I've been teaching over the years, being a knife fighter, that's a joke, being a knife fighting trainer, training the martial arts of knife fighting, and also teaching, is one-handed grip change drills. And it's like face value. If you can change the grip with one hand like this, okay, that's obviously better than training to use two hands to change it. Because if I'm standing in front of you like this, and I can change the grip like this, I can keep my guard up here, my block, and I'm also ready to punch with it, say. Versus, okay, I'm in a knife fight now, we circle each other. I want to change the grip. Need to use this hand, I'm opening up for a head kick here, for example, and having both hands on the knife. Also, you're more likely to get cut using both hands. Meaning, especially under stress, if you're switching and stuff, oh, you just got cut. So it doesn't take that much of a, it really doesn't take that much to make the case for my way is better. So guy got a video on grip change drills, and it's like he's teach you to master changing the grip with your knife, and he's teaching a technique where you have to use both hands, which is not the best. Like, obviously, if I can do the job with one hand, that's better than needing to use two hands for it. Because this hand, having it here, obviously if I'm changing the grip with one hand, I can punch with this. I can have this hand, if I have the skill of changing the grip with one hand, I can have this up here as a block, I can have this here, I can do things with this. Versus if I have this, I want to change my grip, I gotta use another hand somehow. So why is it better? Well, anything you can do with one hand, it's better to do with one hand than needing two hands, okay? It obviously it's better if you can get a job done with one hand. That's better than needing two hands to get the job done. And once again, not just for that, meaning if one hand is out of commission, you've been short on one hand or stabbed or whatever the problem is, well, you have the skill of changing with one hand. So it's just better to be able to, the way that I've been teaching grip changes, you practice using one hand to do grip change, not two hands. Another advantage of the way that I recommend drilling grip changes is it works with any knife, see? So this is dull at the back and sharp in the front. And the grip change, one-handed grip change, works with that. But it also works with a dagger. Versus if you build muscle memory and practice for this type of knife, which most knife in existence is going to be sharp in front of your thumb and dull at the back. Which means if you end up in a house party drinking, there's a butcher knife in a knife stand. Most knives in existence, carpenter knives, utility knives, tool knives in a garage, in a toolbox, kitchen knives in the kitchen. Most knives in this world are going to be this type of knife general, meaning it's sharp on one side in front of your thumb and not in the back. So it has a sharp side and a dull side. Now the one-handed grip change drill, it works to change the grip on that type of knife, but it also works with a dagger knife that's sharp on both sides. Whereas if this was a dagger, and I'm building muscle memory to have to use two hands to change the grip, and I can get it done with one hand, and that's more intelligent. The way I would recommend that you drill is learning, mastering grip changes using only one hand. And if I can change the grip with one hand with this, the same technique applies to any knife. It applies to dagger knives as well. Which means if you have the guy's technique with using one hand, however he's doing it, like using two hands to change the grip. Like this, for example, see? It's using two hands. That doesn't work for a dagger because you'll be cutting yourself. So the one-handed grip change is just better in any way. So that's one is like tells that gives himself away as a person. Just I'm just here being a scammy person who's gonna I got the best, okay. I'm the best at everything. Grip change drills, how to master it and stuff. And then somebody actually understands things like me, you'll be like, no, that's not the best way. And I just made that case. So with this dagger knife, it's sharp in the front and it's sharp in the back. And one-handed grip changes works with this, see. Versus if you have a dagger, and I've been drilling using two hands, kind of like this, yeah, you're cutting up your clothes, best case scenario. Cutting up your body, worst case scenario. So it's not rocket science, but it's like I don't recommend people to practice. It's like, yeah, drill the mastering grip changes, practice needing to use two hands to get the job done. And also it's not just the two hands, it's a technique that doesn't apply to every knife, so it's more limited. Versus, and one of the best fighting knives you can have is a dagger. So why would you drill practicing being less effective, less skillful? It's like I'm drilling to need to use two hands to change the grip of the knife. Okay, when you can practice to be able to do with one hand. And getting it done with one hand, you can use that on daggers too, where it's not unique to this type of knife. Because with this, yeah, I can do this or push here, do whatever, and I'm not cutting myself with the back of the knife. But if this was a dagger, I couldn't be touching the back of it without getting cut or risking getting cut. Now, as always, abide by local laws regarding self-defense and use of weapons at all times is my disclaimer statement. And also, very seriously, don't do what you see me doing this video at home, because this is actual knives that I'm using. And you want to use safe training knives, okay? If you're wanting to do drills, grip change drills, shadow boxing, anything like that, you get a training knife. And this is a cold steel Recon Tanto, and I have a cold steel rubber training knife, Recon Tanto rubber training knife. So that's one of the things I like about cold steel as a knife fighter martial artist. If I go to Amazon and search cold steel, 9 out of 10 times they will have a rubber training version of the real deal. Which means if I buy a cold steel Recon Tanto and I search Amazon, I'll find Recon Tanto rubber training knife and Recon Tanto the actual thing. Which means I can buy the real knife and have a training knife that I can use if I want to have some sparring. I can practice shadow boxing more safely with it. I can practice impact training without destroying what I'm training on. And if I would have somebody be like, hey, could you help me out? I want to practice with my knife fighting, and I have a sparring partner, I can go, can you like come at me? I'll practice connect with your arms as you come move in or something like this. With the rubber training knife, I can do that. Versus with this, obviously, it's like you shouldn't be using for sparring, no matter what your skill level is. Okay, so here's the point. So I'm gonna show you the grip change with one hand, which makes more sense. So this is just simple. Okay, so from here, this is the thumb at the bottom. Maybe also that too, like basics. The two grips, like learned the two grips. So this is the reverse grip, and an alteration of that is the thumb at the side like this. Okay, I prefer the thumb at the bottom. And then here's the regular grip, thumb at the back. So this is the thumb at the back, and that's what I call it, thumb at the bottom. So those are two grips. This is the thumb at the back, okay, thumb at the bottom. There's two grips. You learn those two grips, and then you can practice alternating between those two grips. So let's talk about grips a little bit. Just kind of like static. So it's the thumb at the back. What is an advantage of this? Well, if I attack here, I have more resistance, okay? So if I catch something like a hooking punch, or I'm moving this into a kick or something like this, I'm using it defensively. With the thumb at the back, there's more resistance here. Okay, so that's an advantage. We can be stronger. Whereas if I have the hammer grip, the thumb to the side here, if force is applied at the front of the knife, there's more give and it's easier for it to move back. And also it's leverage, which means it wants to break the grip. So if I have my thumb here and here, and this force here, if that's me hitting the blade into something or catching something with the blade, there's more give and it wants to break the grip. So as force applied to the front of this, you can feel like how the knife wants to open up your fingers and lose the knife. So with the thumb at the back here, there's more resistance, like a break if I catch something. Just the thumb in of itself makes a big difference in keeping the blade from moving back. And if the blade starts moving back, it starts opening up my grip down here. That's what it wants to do. So that's one advantage. You can basically have a stronger grip for hitting, okay, and chopping and things like this. Secondly, there's like a more intuitive, it helps you to keep track of blade alignment and be accurate. Like for example, if I want to cut your neck, okay, and I'm here, just as if I'm hitting you with my thumb, so it's easier to hit things. For example, I already have muscle memory from a lifetime of hand-eye coordination, of hitting, using my thumb to connect with something I'm looking at, like a like button, see? Like here's a like button, see? And I already had like muscle memory my whole lifetime from looking at something and using my thumb to touch it. So your thumb is used to push buttons and things like this. And for a lot of things, especially, it's like this is more used to point at things and find the stuff, but a lot of times a natural way to touch things is with your thumb. So it's easier for me, it can be easier to connect with things because it's like with your thumb. So the blade is in front of the thumb, which means if I can touch you with the thumb in a way, I'll be touching with the blade if I hold the blade in my hand. So it's just, it co-witnesses, meaning if I'm moving my thumb into you, I'm moving the blade into you. Secondly, if you want to plant the blade here and then push through, for example, well, once again, it's like you're looking to impact with your thumb, the thumb area of the blade in front of the thumb, to have a lot of cutting real estate, which means if you want to cut, if I want to put the blade here to your neck and then slice your neck, I want to plant the blade at the bottom of it so I have more dragging, I have more cutting real estate to make a better cut. So with the thumb, it's like it's roughly the thumb area I want to impact with, and then I can drag it if I want to. So thumb at the back grip is good. There's a regular grip, thumb at the back, that's a quality grip. And this is the thumb at the bottom, which is also a quality grip. As opposed to what? This grip with the thumb at the side, and this grip with the thumb at the side. And having the thumb at the bottom here makes it a lot better at stabbing, meaning hitting hard without having your hand slide down the blade. And that can be more of an issue with certain knife designs where the grip isn't that good and don't have a pronounced finger guard and things like this. But generally, having the thumb at the bottom here, stabbing into something, you have a stronger grip and you're less likely to have your hand slide down like this. So here are two grips. Learn these two grips. Thumb at the back and then thumb at the bottom like this. Now we're going to alternate between the two grips. Thumb at the back and thumb at the bottom. And like I said before, if you're going to try these drills, you use a training knife. Okay? Meaning a knife that's designed for training, so you can't get cut or stabbed as you're using it. So from here, it is pretty simple. So here I've got the thumb at the back, and I just do this. See, and I'm just using my fingers, and there's different ways to do it, but here's a way to do it. So just have it here, and I'm doing this, and I'm using finger power. I'm just using my fingers, see, and it's one-handed. See? And then there's more, I can use just finger, it's like arm punch, I can use just finger, like muscles, and use only that to change the grip. Like only use my fingers. And then I can also use inertia, like gravity, to help along and have wider movement where I can go like this, for example. Here's another way to do it. So from here, I'm retracting and then bring it up here, which brings me to a new position where I can attack from. So from here, if I have this here, See, I can go down here as I'm changing it. Here, see here, and this is a new position here where I can attack from. So it's not that difficult. So let's get into how I'm doing it from the side. You can see it here. See, notice what I'm doing. See, 1, 2. Look at this here, here. See, and there's somebody that wanted to see how I'm doing it, and I do it the same way. You could replay this video in slow motion and look at it, but it's not that complicated. So I'm starting here. See, and I can use inertia, gravity, or not. But here's the how I'm using my fingers here. From here, I can also rotate it, or just focus on getting it like this. Here, 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 here. And I can do it with like 2 fingers. So from here, I can use this. Here's another way I could do it if I want to. And it's just 2 fingers. And then switch to this. So there's so many ways you can do it. But like a simple way to do it, more or less simple, is from here. Here. Here's a way to do it. I'll show another one. Here. Thumb goes down here to the side. And then this. And then this. I just show you different ways to do it. Maybe I'll break it down even more another time. But here. See, notice here. See, from here now. See here. You want to use a training now for this, because if you just start this out, you're more likely to drop on your foot on your leg or cut yourself at some point. So I'd be more valuable to people teaching knife fighting technique and philosophy and how to fight with a knife than that guy who's making money. So that's kind of interesting. That's kind of like a pattern where I'd be more valuable to people teaching people how to get better at knife fighting than other people that are making money. So I'd be more valuable for free than other people are for money. Okay. So anyway, here's the point here. Here's another way from here. Here. So it's like, no, but Mike, I think you're wrong. It's better to train grip changes where you're using both hands to change the grip, rather than what you're doing where you built the skill of only needing one hand to change the grip quickly. It's better to drill that you have to use 2 hands to change the grip. Okay, and not only is it like you're using 2 hands rather than 1. Okay, but it's also more likely to get cut, meaning that technique doesn't apply to all knives, versus what I teach that applies to all knives. Whereas the technique that he uses was like, okay, use one arm, okay, to change the grip. It's like I can do it with 1 hand. So why practice needing to use 2 hands to get something down that you can build a skill of getting down with only 1 hand, and it's not really that hard. Okay, I wouldn't say it's so hard, or you have to train 12 years to be able to change the grip with 1 hand or something like this. Secondly, using only 1 hand, the way that I do it, this works for a dagger too, where if it's sharp in the back, his way of changing it, you need 2 hands rather than 1. Okay, so it's like needing to use more resources to get the job done. See, 2 hands. My way is I can throw punches and I can change the grip as I'm throwing punches. I can block things whatever I'm doing, and I can just use 1 hand. So this hand is free to do other things. This hand, while I'm changing the grip, can come up and block something. And it's not like to change the grip I have to use both hands. It's more resources to get the job done. Okay, using 2 hands. Secondly, the way that he's doing it, not only do you need 2 hands to do that, arms, but that technique doesn't apply to daggers, where if it's sharp in the back and you do this, you're cutting yourself, see? So you can't use the 2-handed one, the 2-armed grip change for daggers, because you get cut, okay? So, Let's show you some more grip changes. And we'll go a little bit lower here. So here, I had the knife here. Here. There's one hand like this. Here. And I can use inertia or not. So, grips, okay, yeah, so some at the back, some at the bottom. Learn those 3 grips, and I've talked about this before when making free knife fighting training videos, teaching people how to get better fight with knives. It's like a basic, learn the 2 grips, and then learn how to change the grips, alternate between the grips. And starting out, I actually said that when training before, if you get a training knife and you learn the first grip, this thumb at the back, and then you learn the thumb at the bottom, initially, starting out to change the grip, you might feel like you need to use 2 hands and assist with the left hand. See, like a rookie. So why do you train to stay a rookie? Understand? So he's teaching to use 2 hands, whereas I've been teaching knife fighting, and one of the things I've been teaching is grip changes. It's like I go, okay, if you start doing this, get a training knife, and you learn this grip, and you learn this grip, and then you start drilling it. So after learning the 2 grips, okay, you learn the gripping method technique. Okay, the thumb at the back, you learn the thumb at the bottom, and then you make a drill out of switching, changing the grip. You might feel initially how you want to assist instinctually as a rookie beginner. You might feel like using both hands and looking as you're doing it. I mean, if a person gets a training knife and they want to try this, okay, and they have this grip and want to change the other one, the natural instinct might be you feel like you want to use 2 hands and help out with the left hand, the non-dominant hand, and also look at it as you're doing it. Whereas with training, you can get to a point where you can use just one hand without looking and change the grip. See? So the level 1 is like when I've been teaching, it's like, yeah, if you get this, you're going to start doing the drill. You learn the 2 grips, and then you start drilling, changing it between the 2 grips. You might feel initially like you want to use both hands and look as you're doing it. So that's a beginner rookie level where you don't have the skill of changing with one hand, which is the most effective way. See, it's more effective to only need one hand to change the grip and not have to look at it as you're doing it. So why would you practice to like drill staying at the beginner level where you needed to use 2 hands to change the grip? See, it's like here, okay, here, or something like this. It's better to use just one hand. So, show you again. Thumb at the bottom is a good grip for stabbing, and it's also you can use it for this time. Now I don't have to explain this video. I made it before. I've shown like I'm holding this and stab the table, and you can see like how it moves a little bit. And then I've used like just 2 fingers like this and stabbing the table, and I keep my grip just to show how much of a difference the thumb at the bottom makes. Meaning I've had this with just the thumb at the bottom. See, so with this grip, it's like all the fingers are helping to keep my hand from sliding down. Now the quality of this thumb at the bottom grip is, I've done this before just to show it, like 1 finger here, and then 1 finger here, and then stabbing holding the wood desk. And just these 2 fingers is enough to keep me from sliding down. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now. So do it like this. Move this light here. I'll show it to you. Once again, don't try anything. This video is actually cool. So here's the regular grip. Okay. Now notice if I have a loose grip, how my hand is sliding down, see? If my grip is loose, which can also be the same if your grip is wet, you have sweaty hands and it's not a very well textured knife. So what makes a good grip is, part of it is the skill, part of it is the knife. See, so what makes a good grip in knife fighting? Part of what makes you have a good grip is the gripping technique and finger strength, like grip strength, okay? It's like the gripping technique, like how you're holding the knife, like where are your fingers? That's part of what makes a good grip. Another thing that makes a good grip would be your hand, your finger strength, your grip strength, okay? And then third, the knife itself, like the object that you're gripping. So what makes it a good grip is what you're gripping matters in how good of a grip you have on this thing. It's like, what are you gripping? What's the shape of the handle? What's the material it's made from? Is it textured or not? Is it made from a slippery material or non-slippery? So anyway, suppose if you look at this here, with a loose grip, it's like I'm lucky there's a good finger guard there, because see, just holding it like this, thumb at the side. If you have a loose grip, it starts sliding down, even with a very well textured grip like this. Now with the thumb at the bottom, so I'm kind of showing you, proving what I said, like that the thumb at the bottom is a good grip. So from here, just one thumb here and one finger, see? So just two fingers, I can stab that hard into the desk. So that really shows you what big of a difference the thumb at the bottom makes rather than the hand grip, like the thumb at the side, see? Which is a more instinctual way to grip a knife. Hold it like this in the reverse grip with the thumb to the side, which is not as strong because my hand wants to go down. So with the thumb at the bottom gripping method, rather than thumb at the side, you have a lot more resistance. You have a lot more penetration power, and you have a lot more retention, where it is easy for you to keep your hand, keep a good grip on and not have your hand slide off, understand? So the thumb at the bottom and the finger here, just this, see? Just this, see? Two fingers, just two fingers. And with just two fingers, I can hit that knife into dense wood here, and I'm not losing it, and it's giving me penetration power. So it's giving me penetration power, and I'm not losing the knife. So just two fingers here makes a big difference. So here, so all I need is two fingers to be able to stab hard into something, and I'm not losing the knife. Versus if I would have here, I wouldn't feel comfortable stabbing hard. See? So this is a good grip. Thumb at the back. Once again, I'll show you again. Two fingers only, showing you how much of a difference. So an instinctual way to grip knives is the hand grip, of the thumb to the side in other grip like this. And what I'm saying is the thumb at the bottom is a better grip. And to show that to you, just with the thumb at the bottom, all I need is two fingers, thumb at the bottom and one finger, and I can stab it there without losing it. So just with two fingers, one of them being the thumb at the bottom, I'm keeping control of the blade. Versus with this here, if my grip is loose, it wants to move down, which means I'm losing penetration, and I'm more likely to lose the knife. And with a knife like this, which is more a fighting knife, and it has a big finger guard, pronounced finger guard, it has a handle that's made to be gripping and stuff, it's less risky to use this, but still, this is better, like this grip here, thumb at the bottom. Okay, yeah, it's vibration. So here, get a training knife, and if you want to get the same knife, it's a cold steel recon Tanto, and I'm not paid by that. That's not the best, the only knife that's good, but it is a knife, understand? It is a knife that I like. So if you want to have the same knife that I have, this is a cold steel recon Tanto, and they have a rubber training version, which you can use. So if you buy a cold steel recon Tanto and a cold steel recon Tanto rubber training knife, you can have the knife for fighting, and you can practice with the rubber training knife, like the grip change drills and everything else. is initially. So here, grip change, one-handed grip change. And this is so much better. See, some at the back, some at the back, some at the bottom, and you can alternate between the two grips. See, so I go from here, here, and then here. This is one way to do it. And then I can use my pinky here, 3 fingers, 2 fingers on the side, and then here. Here, once again, putting the fingers kind of in the middle of the blade, and then using gravity, inertia. See here. Now I'm using finger power, where I'm not using inertia, gravity. See here. As much. So, if you want to get better knife hand, that's one of the things you can start with, starting out. Get a training knife, learn the 2 grips, some at the 2 main grips here, some at the back, and some at the bottom grip. And then you practice alternate between these 2 grips with a training knife. So you can make a drill where you go some at the back, switch to some at the bottom, and then back, some at the, okay, so you switch between the 2 grips like this. And you can have it to the hip, for example, to the side here, and practice. Now I have a little bit higher so you can see on there. So here. And then once you got a handle that, a hang of it, where you can do grip changes with one hand. And want to be able to do it, get to level proficiency where you can change the grip without looking and without assisting with the other hand. Which means like here, and I'm changing it, and I'm changing it, and I'm changing it, and I can do that without looking at it and without using my other hand to help. Now after you got a hang of that, you can switch to your non-dominant hand, and you can learn how to switch the grip with the left hand if you're right-handed, which is a little bit harder. There's one-handed with the left. Here. Now, more advanced things that I've done is I use 2 knives at the same time, and I'm switching it like this. That's not a drill. So, yeah, I'm more valuable and more competent than a lot of people are credentialed. See, it's like they have, I got to school, I call myself master, this or that. And if I look at what they're teaching, he's teaching a less effective way to do things, and than what I'm doing. And not only is it less effective, and he's not as good at teaching to get better knife fighting, but he had to pay money. He's making money for being less valuable in teaching knife fighting. Another ridiculous thing he was talking about is fighting for like demoralization effect and cutting the person's is the kind of stuff I cut off the nose or lips or ear or something like this. They'd be like, oh, my nose is on the ground, or my fingers, and that's demoralizing. And I said, Paul, that's another like ridiculous thing, where if you're fighting with a knife, you're not fighting to maim and disfigure and relying on psychological effect. The simple thing is you're fighting to put the person down. It's similar. So my training philosophy of knife fighting applies to the same teaching that people that teach in knife fighting, not gunfighting teach. It's not like shoot him in the ear so he'd be like, oh, I just felt something hit my ear, there's blood, and I lost my ear and I'm demoralized now. No, it's got to be you're using this lethal weapon to put the person down quickly. And you're not fighting to cause like aesthetical damage or psychological impact. You're fighting to put the person down. So if I'm close enough to move this to your cranium, I'm not going to be trying to cut off your nose or your lips or your ear or cut something so you'd be like, oh, my face is fucked up now, and that makes me, and that's not a thing that he did. So it's like, let's talk about, yeah, it's fight and cut the face, but oh, my face is fucked up, and it's like demoralizing. Now, anything that will do, a stab to the neck will have the same psychological impact. If somebody gets stabbed in the neck and they feel they get stabbed in the neck and there's blood squirting out, that's going to have the same psychological impact as like, I'm close to you, I'm going to attack to this level, I'm going to try to cut your nose off or something like this. So you go like, my nose fell on the ground, okay, and I'm demoralized. It's like stabbing you in the neck will have the same demoralization effect. You got hit with something and you can feel it, and it's like blood, and you understand. So that, and it's a wound that is like, I might not survive this wound. So you don't rely on like, so yeah, this person is so much less competent than I am. And a toxic person, as usual, narcissistic, who's a scammy person, who's got gimmicky knives to sell and working to mark himself an expert, feign competence, be like, I'm the best knife fighting coach here, and this is the best. It's like stupid, silly stuff. Okay, that's another thing that he was teaching, was like talk about using the knife to cut the person's face for the emulsation effect. Like you cut a person, cut the fingers or something like this. Like, yeah, if you hear you chop off the fingers so the fingers will fall on the ground and be like shook because the fingers on the ground now. And be like, oh, that gives me a shock or something like this. Now here's the point, that's stupid. Because what you're doing, I have a knife, I'm looking to hurt you with it. So I'm looking to stab you and hurt you, and inadvertently you might lose fingers, and I might go to cut your neck, inadvertently I might hit the ear and your ear falls down, but you're not aiming to have these effects, understand? Like cutting the ear for some psychological impact. And a knife is a lethal implement. And if you want to do less lethal, you use a less lethal implement like a stick or pepper spray or something like this. If I'm pulling a knife, I'm gonna use this knife to do less lethal techniques and slash them in the face and then be like, oh, they're surprised now and they give up or something like this. Because just moving this into your body or at your body, even if I'm not trying to, I'm risking lethal force. Because here's another thing. Like if you're attacking, you're not attacking the static target. So it's like if you're attacking here, I'm generally attacking to your head level or your torso level. I'm not going for like this hyper specific. It's like I'm here, I'm gonna try to cut his ear off or his nose or like create a sudden cut that will make this like his face disfigured and be like, oh, my face is fucked up, stuff like this. It's like generally I'm attacking to your cranium, like your this level, okay? And I'm not aiming for a specific effect. It's like I'm attacking different target zones. See, I'm not focusing on some potential effects. Like you're working to stab this into the neck, slash the neck, and if you go from here, like here, diagonal cut, yeah, it might cut here, okay, but it can also cut here and kill the person, like create a mortal wound. So this guy is ripe for the picking, and I might make more videos. Like exposing his bullshit and like respond to his videos and people can get better coaching for free than watching his videos with ads and stuff. So basically I recommend if you want to get better knife fighter, learn the two grips, the two main grips, some at the bottom, some at the back. You can drill change it between the two grips, and we'll get to the point we can do it one-handed without looking, which is attainable. It doesn't take like years of training to be able to switch from this grip to this grip without looking. And don't fall for people, that specific person, somebody else that is teaching, mastering the grip changes. Like, yeah, you don't. The best way to go about it is not to practice using two hands to change it. Okay. The best way is not to practice using two arms to change the grip. It's not. Because if you might get injured, for example. What if you only have one hand? And all your muscle memory and training this, and the same person talks about how you default to your level of training. Okay. You don't rise to the occasion, default to level of training. Okay. So if you're training, what you should master is the using two arms. Well, what if I got shot in the arm or stabbed in the arm? And I don't have two arms. It's like my training is using two arms to change the grip, and I don't have two arms that are working. So it's better to learn how to change the grip just with one hand, like this. And it's really not that hard. Now, I do recommend that you use a training knife, as I said before. Anything you see me doing this live stream, or hear me talk about, use a training knife. Because this is risky. You could drop the knife in your leg, your foot, something like this. So it's not that hard. See here, one-hander. Here. Here's another thing you can do. Grip change drills. You can learn the two grips with a training knife. Thumb at the back, switch to the thumb at the bottom grip, drill that, okay, so you get the hang of it, where you can use one hand to change the grip. and only one hand without looking. After that, you can, here's another drill you can do for this solo training. So start with the basics. It's like learning this grip, learning, which I call thumb at the back, learning this grip, thumb at the bottom, drilling, changing between those two grips until you get the hang of that. Once you got the hang of that with the right hand, you can switch to left hand. And then you go regular grip left hand, switch to reverse grip, like the thumb at the bottom. And then you drill that. And you can have a certain stance where you have it to the side of your hip, kind of, and then start drilling it like this with a training knife. Okay. Okay, now you got the hand, you can do one-handed grip change drills without looking. Now you got that skill. Now what you can do as the next level exercise drill is you can start doing things like this, where as a drill, you start here with this grip, switch to this, attack from this new grip, return, grip change, and then attack from this grip, see? And you can do that as a drill. So let's say I start from here, regular grip. I switch to reverse grip. Right away, after acquiring the new grip, I attack from the new grip, switch to regular grip, attack from that, and you can drill things like this. That's another way you can drill knife fighting, solo knife fighting. So here, solo knife fighters don't require a sparring partner. So here, regular grip, switch it, attack, retract, switch the grip, stab, 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 one or more times attacking. Switch to reverse grip, attack with the reverse grip. See? So this is teach you drills that can help you get better. You learn the two grips, regular grip, reverse grip. You drill that until you can switch the grip one hand without looking. After that, next thing you can drill, now that you've learned this, one-handed grip change drills, another drill like shadow boxing drill, is doing this, switch reverse grip, attack from the reverse grip, switch regular grip, attack from the regular grip, switch, attack, and you can practice right after switching to a grip, attack from this new grip, switch back, stab or slash from this new grip, switch back again, and then attack right after. And that's building more like flowing muscle memory. We build the skill of having a certain grip and then quickly attack it from there, switch the grip and ready to attack. So I don't have to all explain it, but that's not a drill you can do. Switch the grips and then attack from the new grips. So I wash my hands. That hand is like glue. Which means the grip standard is already good, but I made it even better by getting medical tape around it. And after using it with like sweaty hands, it melts through and it's like the glue comes through, but it feels like gripping something that's like glue. And this here is not from training, this cut. This is from picking up shards of glass earlier today and processing. Meaning I dropped a glass bowl the other day and also dropped like a ceramic bowl. And then pick up shards. And some of the shards are too big to fit in inside a container I use. So basically how I do things, if I have broken shards of glass or broken coffee cups, stuff like this, I don't throw that into a plastic trash bag because there's a risk you get hurt or somebody else. So basically I get like a little cardboard box or something and I put the shards in there, close it and tape it up. So okay. So while processing it, picking up shards of glass and then breaking large shards of glass and then putting it, I got cut at some point all the way. So like here. So I taped it up. Finger wounds bleed quite a lot, even if it's just a very small cut. Sometimes it bleeds quite a lot. And with finger cuts, sometimes it's like you cut your finger as you're chopping or cooking or something like this. And it's like at a certain position it's not bleeding, but if you bend the finger it starts bleeding. You open it up. So I have a little bit of a splint, meaning you could do it with a cut is so small where you have like just can be wound. This is more like a splint with fixating it, because the type of injury that I had is when I squeeze the finger, it opens it up and start bleeding. So I'm getting the best of two worlds, where I'm stopping from bleeding, and it's also keep me from moving my finger too much and opening up again, so it helps you to close up. Yeah, so people will be able to learn knife fighting from me. Higher quality. People will be able to get higher quality knife fighting coaching than some people out here that are making money. So this could be on the video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more about this, or be interested in martial arts, fitness, things like this. I have videos, past videos, training and teaching knife fighting martial arts stuff, and there might be more. This could be on the video.